And the LAPD is promising what it calls a strict posture toward any continuing protests out there today. Bill Bratton is an MSNBC analyst and the former police commissioner, of course, in Los Angeles. Commissioner Bratton joins us now. Thanks so much for being with us. If you were in charge right now in LA, how would you be handling the rioting that we saw last night in response to the Zimmerman verdict?
Well, I was on the phone with my successor, Charlie Beck, Chief Beck, and we talked about just the question you just asked in terms of what are they going to be doing. And what they are, in fact, going to be doing, there'll be more officers there this evening. Some of the freedom of movement of the crowds that was allowed over the last several nights will be limited. They're making it quite clear that those that would seek to cause problems are going to be dealt with very quickly, very forcefully, and they are generating a lot of community support for that posture. LAPD has a great relationship, particularly with its African-American community and their leadership, and they are outraged as anybody else at the 150 or so young people last night and the behavior they engaged in. That serves no purpose whatsoever for the mission that they are on, which is basically trying to move forward from this trial and trying to get the Justice Department to take their concerns very seriously and see if there is, in fact, something that the federal government can do that was not done at the local level.
Now, of course, this was not the kind of reaction that we saw in the past in LA, especially in South Central after the Rodney King verdict. You transformed that department. What is the key to making a police department work with the community? Is it community policing? Is it relationships with community leaders, with the clergy, with political figures? How did you make it all work in LA to make it so much more viable?
It is all of those things. There was a wonderful piece in this Sunday's New York Times Magazine section on the new Los Angeles and the relationship between its police department and its communities. And it's about collaboration before an event occurs, that you have relationships so that when you know that something is going to occur, and certainly there was an anticipation of demonstrations after this trial and its verdict, that the idea was they all come together to try and basically ensure that there is not violence. And that's what's going to be going on there today. There is not a single African-American leader in Los Angeles today that is a legitimate leader, if you will, that is not working with the Los Angeles Police Department on this issue. It has been quite a turnaround. I'm proud to have been part of that. My successor, Charlie Beck, he lives, eats, and breathes it. And they're not going to tolerate, the community or the police department, the behavior of these 150 knuckleheads, as we would describe them. And that's a change, certainly a change from the 1990s.
And Chief, you know, the family, Trayvon Martin's parents, have called for calm. Everyone has responded with extraordinary composure and dignity. So what is it that creates the trigger when you've got a crowd, you've got protesters, they're marching silently, and all of a sudden, in one city or another, it gets violent? Are these opportunists? Are these just, as you call them, knuckleheads who are trying to take advantage?
Last night in Los Angeles, this was the third night of demonstrations, and the demonstrations have been controlled. They had been take over certain intersections with the acquiescence of the police because there was no violence involved. What happened last night, according to Chief Beck, was just that the larger rally that was peaceful, that was being led by some of the more significant activists in the area, that there was this group of young people that broke away and began to engage in some of the fighting that you saw a little earlier on the newscast and some of the vandalism. And then it grew into a larger number of about 150 at its largest. About 350 LAPD officers on the scene and in the vicinity last evening. Tonight, those numbers will be much larger. And tonight, the community will be more prepared to work with the police to make sure that those young people don't go off on their own. This was a leaderless event last evening in the sense of the violence and the hooliganism. And the community fully understands that their message is being muted, is being thwarted by the activities of these young people.
Chief Bill Bratton, it's great to have you on our team. Thank you so much for your expertise.